Yeah, space-based solar power is a relatively near-term possibility that some of the basic capability, like technologies needed for it, have been demonstrated at some level. There are a number of projects, spaceflight demos that are being planned either by the Space Force or NASA or other agencies to show some of the basic capabilities that China's proposed also their own space-based solar power. So if you don't know what space-based solar power is, it's the idea that you can basically put solar panels in space to collect energy from the sun. It's you get a much stronger, it doesn't have to go through the atmosphere, so the rays are much more intense. Mm-hmm. You get more power density from the rays that hit the solar panels, and then you beam that down to Earth, usually with microwaves is how they're doing it. I mean, there are some questions in my mind about what happens if, say, a bird flies through that microwave beam, they get cooked? I don't know. Yep. I'm not really an expert on space-based solar power in that regard, but there's been a lot of research into it. Mm-hmm. And it's a plausible way to deal with the world's energy needs by having orbiting satellites, very large structures that have lots of solar panels on them that then beam these down to stations on Earth. For CisLunar Industries, it creates an interesting opportunity because if you want to build space-based solar power, you need materials and large structures to do that. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that's always held back space-based solar power is this idea we'd have to launch all of this structure and solar panels into orbit in order to do that. Either way, we can still build the truss structures for these space-based solar power plants. So that's kind of a cool application that's could affect climate change because you could get rid of any carbon-based, power plants. And also even, I think nuclear should be one of our solutions, but that's another whole conversation. But nevertheless, you could avoid using any other power supply, basically.